7. Who will wake the sleeping genius? Perhaps you have heard the story of a frail mother who lifted up a whole automobile to save her son stuck under it. It is an example of our tremendous latent powers. Humans possess fantastic capabilities, but because these capabilities usually remain latent within us, we are not always aware of them. The people who discover this potential become successes. The ones who do not just go about living ordinary lives. If we use 20% of our true potential, we would all be geniuses, and if we use 30%, we could be great heroes. So it is fair to say that anyone who is a genius or a hero has developed his latent capabilities to a greater extent than the average person. Edison often repeated the same experiment 200 times or more before inventing something. He became a genius by relentlessly developing his latent potential. By waking the sleeping genius within, you have to develop yourself creatively. The French philosopher Henri Bergson once said that making progress was the very nature of life. All that lives has to develop actively. This is often called the principle of life. So you have to watch constantly your progress and exert yourself to become brighter, smarter, and better. You must be generous with others but severe with yourself, and you have to be careful not to fall into the traps of excuses and rationalizations. If you think of yourself as a wimp, then others will think of you that way as well. I always regret that I did not study more in college. I had plans to study abroad, but circumstances at the time did not allow me. So perhaps that is why I still feel that I have missed something. And I feel it all the more when I see my own inadequacies. As I travel around the world meeting all kinds of people, it becomes a problem. For example, if you do not know much about the history and customs of a nation, when you have to meet a foreigner on business, when you travel, you never know what kind of religious beliefs or interests the person you are meeting might have, so you have to be prepared for every possible situation. Otherwise, things may not go so smoothly. For example, do you know anything about Islam and Hinduism, or about the history of Sudan and Algeria? I sometimes take college professors with me on my trips, so that they can brief me concerning the nation I am visiting. These briefings broaden my knowledge of the history, social conditions, recent events, and other facets of these nations. Of course, it is like sightseeing from a passing train, but it does invigorate me and give me new strength as well as additional knowledge. Maintaining the status quo is the same as regressing. While you are holding your own, others are passing you by. It is no exaggeration to say that it is all over for someone who lives that way, because such a person has no expectations for further development. Only those people who continually develop themselves and study earnestly will make progress, but harsh on yourself. Do not ever think that you have made it. Do not ever be satisfied with what you have done. Drive yourself for the rest of your life. If you do not move, you become paralyzed. Develop your potential to the fullest, for you, too, can wake the sleeping genius at will.